Everyone cheers.
Hey, yeah.
Wow. Look at us go.
Is that Mezcal?
This is
Clang,
water.
clang, 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 clang.
That would be
Already.
I would be sitting here.
Welcome back. Welcome back. For the sake of time and just because a comical amount of things happened in our last session, I'm going to recap.
Do it.
So that we can fly right through. It's also easy because I have bullet points of everything that happened already done. So, yeah, we had in our previous session of Candela Obscura, we had some more setup of kind of the larger world. We had a flashback. We met the Circle of the Silver Line. We figured out why they were mysteriously missing in our previous session. And that was they were on a mission, going through some caverns, hunting some sort of weird beast that fired these wild blasts. And in the process of hunting down this beast, they broke into another cavern of some sort where they unintentionally did two things. Opened a sarcophagus, whoops, and then also awoken some other creature. Yikes, what's going on there? Hard to say. And then we zipped away from there to the morgue at the Shriveline, which is where the Ascendancy is, the religion of Old Fair, or of New Fair, sorry. There were some periphery cops, potentially dirty cops, hard to say, but they're working for the Ascendancy instead of the periphery, apparently. They went to meet with Elias. Elias is the kind of priest of the Ascendancy that we've met in the last session. He was overseeing the removal of gold teeth from a bunch of pirates. These are if we didn't already connect the dots, we're connecting the dots. They're the pirates from our last session. And then one of them, Jonathan, who was brutally stabbed by the mystical knife in our previous session, he came back to life and was obliterating the priests. Elias made short work of him, seemed to send him off into some other realm somehow with a blade that came out of his wrist. Yeah, that was... Then when we caught up with the Circle of Five, we kind of briefly touched base on everyone. Ox and Thaddeus were dealing with the aftermath of Aldrich's house blowing apart. Florence was doing the rounds at Graceslate. I don't know if we fully confirmed this. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. I've always thought of it as volunteer work. Did you feel like you were employed by Graceslate?
No, more volunteer.
Okay, that's great. We're synced. Yeah. And then Wade, so Florence was volunteering at Graceslate. Wade was hanging out at the bar with his dear friend Gerald, who lives to serve. Mm-hmm. And then Declan called them up to say, we're figuring out what happened to the Silver Line. One member was back at a safe house, deceased. That's when they met up with local New Fair vigilante, the Shadow, who was quickly ended by a new mysterious figure that the Shadow called Flint before he was killed. And that's all we know right now. We're going to cut back in. There's someone who either, I would say, Ox or Wade. Honestly, either of you, I would love for you to make a focus roll. And this is low
Two
stakes.
in the diamond. What? Tell yours is?
Yeah. I just want to see if you remember something. That's all.
You can go for it. So one and grab your blue one. Yeah. 3 and 4.
Okay. Which one was the Gilded?
3.
Okay, that's fine. I guess you have all your dress back anyway, don't you?
Yep.
Okay. So, you actually, when the Shadow yelled Flint at this being, that you remembered from your past and the fact that you have dealt in kind of occultic circles. You've in a different through the Red Hand and stuff, but you're actually familiar that Flint is not a name in that sense. It's not a first name. It is a title for a secretive branch of the Ascendancy. This is the Ascendancy's assassins. They call, the way that the Ascendancy works is that they, let me just pull this up real quick to make sure that I'm saying this right. So the Ascendancy has a kind of subsect in the same way that the Red Hand had a subsect you were a part of. This subsect is called Pyre. And they are ritualist, occult, they also delve in kind of while they think magic is evil, they use magic to fight magic. And so they have Flint and Flame. The Flint are the assassins, and the Flame are the ritualists. And they're kind of the two parts of this Pyre sect. And so you know that when Shadow yelled Flint and assassin, he was talking about Pyre had sent an assassin into the room.
Okay.
And so that's something you're aware of. you can keep that to yourself. You can yell it out. You can do whatever you want with that information. But when he said Flint, you knew that. I mean, you can roll to see if you know that too. It's low stakes, so like if you miss it, it's just you don't know that.
Roll. 5, 6.
Great.
Oh.
Yeah. So you both, in your journeys as an adventurer, studying artifacts and things, Pyre is not like the Ascendancy would deny that it exists, kind of. But like you have studied enough about New Fair and Old Fair to know like this is definitely a thing. So when he said Flint, y'all were both like Pyre.
Yeah.
Do I guess this is more of like a we situation now. Do we know how well they're trained?
No, you just know that people kind of steer clear of them because
We just saw what he did.
so the symbol of fire is a flaming sword, and it's like if you know about Pyre, you know that's like their weapon of choice is flaming sword, and so it's like flaming sword, crazy assassins. This group is spooky and not to be messed with.
I don't think I would acknowledge that I knew.
That moment, yeah.
Just because if it is something that seems like it's secretive, I wouldn't want to make him think that he needed to kill me to keep the secret.
Sure.
So I wouldn't exclaim or
Okay.
anything like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think the only thing I would say is just
Cool.
watch those flames.
Yeah. Watch those flames, says Wade. Some of you have broken glass in you right now. You all have a little shuriken stuck in you. And this assassin has just slaughtered the deer vigilante of New Fair. He's now in the room with you. What do you do?
I'd say if you were here for him, we just met him 2 minutes ago. So we have no association with, I believe he called himself Shadow.
Mm-hmm. The assassin, its head turns to you, this kind of like puts you in its sights, and before you even like, as you're getting to the end of that sentence, it runs at you with the sword. I need you to make a move roll to see if you get out of the way of its attack.
While he's doing that, I think. Sorry, I missed this.
No, you're fine.
I'm gonna set up-
2 6s!
Whoa!
Oh, also for what it's worth, I mean, you were doing a bunch of studying and like reading up and
Right,
stuff.
that's exactly what I'm getting to. Can I remember the specific goal of this act of the Ascendancy? What are they trying to get rid of? Or who's their main enemy?
Hi.
Yeah, I think that in your researching and as you were training and doing, you gained a whole die from your reading. So I think it's reasonable that like you've seen this name before. So Flint came naturally to you. You were like, oh, this is a member of Pyre. You just know that they like their prime directive. Their prime directive is like eliminate phenomena, but they also like it's almost hypocritical in the sense of like they use magic to fight magic kind of thing,
Yeah.
but like they just want to eliminate magic in all its forms. That's really all you know, and they're seemingly like necessary evil is almost how they see magic until magic is eradicated.
Yeah.
Hard to say what they do when all magic is eradicated and
Sure.
suddenly they've done what they've done, but that's just kind of their thing.
I'll let you play out your thing. What else we got?
Is there anything close to me in the room I can grab to like block or trip or anything like that that seems close to me?
Yeah, so it's a Candela safe house that you're in, so I think it is reasonable that you would know that like every safe house has like an area where like people can stock up on like weapons and tools and things, and so you can. Every safe house is a little different, so I would say that you would want to make a survey roll to see if you can. I'm gonna actually have you.
I rolled a give it a 6 on move.
Okay, great. That's great. So if you had your drive to gain back, you gained it back.
Right.
But you rolled 2 6s.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually a extra success. I forget the exact term, but it's like a super success, literally.
That's the first one of the game, I think.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so the way that those work, like extreme success, whatever term doesn't matter. But you succeed and then some, and so the and then some is going to be like you hop out of the way. A few things happen. You hop out of the way. This assassin was so surprised that you were so nimble that it kind of lost its balance, and so it's kind of it doesn't like fall on its face, but it is like it like really thought it was going to get you and it didn't connect, and so it's off balance a little bit. And as you moved, you recognize like the case that matches the case in y'all's own safe house.
Mhm.
Like, you know, that's where all the weapons are. You don't even have to observe, like, that's where it is. And so you know, okay, I just need to get over there and get something.
While he's stunned, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to move towards, I don't know how far away I am inside the room.
Yeah.
But I'm going to move towards and try to take a swing at him.
Okay, you just full on punching him? Do you have a weapon?
So I did draw a sword. So I have a
that's
sword
right.
at the ready.
Nice.
Um,
Can you mark sword on your items, by the way?
Yep.
I'm on the way to the case.
And I didn't say this, but each session, your items refresh. So you always have 3 items, and
Hand weapon.
yeah, it would be a hand weapon. And so all you do if you want to have a weapon, you can just say that you had it and mark it, and then you have 2 left.
Even in the moment, we can come up with something cool.
Yeah, I mean, within reason, like, you got some categories of, like, things you would have, but, like, what makes sense, like, you're a member of Candela Obscura, you're going on a mission, like, it's not unreasonable or game-breaking to be like, yeah, I brought a gun with me.
yeah.
Right.
You know, like, if it makes sense that you would have done that.
Yeah. My character does have a gun.
Okay.
But I'm just going to use it with the sword because I'm already ready
Cool.
to go with it.
Make a strike roll, please.
Okay. Alright, so my strike is Gilded. And then I'm also going to spin the drive to use an extra die.
Hey,
I have a 3, 5, and 6.
Hey! Nice.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Okay. Yeah, so it like was off balance, and so you literally like you take your sword and you full on decapitate this thing.
Wow.
Man, sorry, person, image bearer, image of the Father, Mother, and Son. So you decapitate this being, and it just like it swung, it stumbled, it gets decapitated, it's out. And so now you got this corpse. You did short work of it. Great job, everyone.
Wow.
And that's on combat.
Alright,
Take the
so
sword.
I did succeed in an illumination key. Useful.
Yeah, you did.
I guess, well,
You ran into danger.
yeah, I also got, I guess I acted tactically in that moment as well.
Mhm.
So I guess I succeeded in 2.
Nice.
Alright, now I just need to protect one girl.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. What do y'all do in this moment now? You have a decapitated higher assassin.
Let's remove it's got a head rope, right?
Yeah.
Alright, let's remove the head rope to see if we recognize the face.
Okay, so you pull the head robe off. You do not.
Okay.
However, you do see that this face looks rough. Like it seems like. I mean, everyone's a little bit different, but it just kind of seems like this is someone that dabbles in magic, and it's not done well to it. Like it's got very like sunken eyes, like nothing like crazy about its face, but like it looks pretty haggard
Yeah.
in a way that's like, and some of those like maybe like natural veins in the face are like unnaturally pronounced in a way that's just like,
Yeah.
yes.
Couple
Okay.
body marks.
Do you have any gold teeth?
Doesn't have any gold teeth,
Okay.
but
Okay.
its blade was out, and the fire, like the moment that it was decapitated, the fire went out, and you can see that blade is gold.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over and I'm not gonna say a word about this at all, but Thaddeus just walks over, picks up the head off of the ground, sets it on the desk facing the door that we came in through, picks up a clear glass paperweight that was on the desk and just puts it into the mouth open to keep the mouth propped open, and just puts that facing the doorway of this office.
Chris.
Got it.
You madman. They're gonna be so upset with
And
us.
then I'm gonna go investigate the body and see if there's any like notes or anything behind.
Yeah, can we also derobe him completely?
Okay.
I know it sounds weird, but like he might have some
He's not.
markings. Yeah, he might have something like an identifier
Sure.
that specifically for Thaddeus he might recognize with his studies.
Sure.
I would like to inspect his sword.
And while they're doing that, I'm inspecting Shadow. Saying
Okay.
what he has.
Yeah.
You get the sword, I'll get the rose.
In the library with her.
Yeah. Do a focus roll, low stakes focus roll.
Okay. Where's the Gilded?
It's right there.
Thanks. Well, 4.
Oh,
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
got that.
So, kind of a derpy looking guy. as yeah, it's just sort of like a middle-aged dude with a big old bushy mustache and a comb over. Like a very, like, not who you would think would be under that cloak, you know? And in the same way that, like, earlier...
What's the difference between you and me?
Yeah, when you were trying to remember in the past, it's just like, that triggered a memory. But it's like, it's kind of like, I know you from somewhere. It's like the feeling that you got. But again, something about, like, it's decapitated. Like, a lot of decapitation happened in this room. But, like, you know, something vaguely familiar about it. But beyond that, you do see that under its leather robe, the sleeves had like almost like a long line of razor blades along the side, just as like a form of fighting, you know, and it went kind of like from the elbow to the pinky, just like blade, just as like a fighting thing. And so the gloves are pull-offable, so if you want them, they're blade gloves. But also that would be an item to claim, so it's, you know, inventory rules. So, there's that. There's nothing really. He's got like a notebook, and you see like scribbles about Aldrich's house. You see scribbles about random crimes around New Fair that you would want to spend more time to see if anything stands out from that. Like it would take time to like go through a notebook, but you can pocket his notebook. Yeah, that's about it from him.
Okay, I pull off the gloves and I like take his notebooks and say, we can look at these later, and put them in my bag. And then I take the gloves over to where y'all are investigating the assassin, and I kind of toss the gloves onto the body and say, have at it. If anyone wants it.
Cool. So as y'all strip the body of this assassin,
It's not as we. I swear.
Why are you going so slow, Wade? And so you see that on its right breast there is a brand, and the brand is of a flaming sword.
Okay.
And you recognize this is it's the mark of Pyre. Everyone who's a member of Pyre has this brand somewhere on their body, and for them it was here. And you see it has like an ID card. Pyre lifetime member. It doesn't have like a specific name, but it just like is looks like an access card.
Yeah.
And then there's also a small golden key. So you can take or leave any of that. But and the key was like on a little chain around its neck. You don't know what the key unlocks, but you can see that like if you look at looking at it head on, it's another little Pyre symbol. So it's like a little Pyre key.
Okay.
I'm
gonna take both.
Yeah. Cool. And then Thaddeus or Ox, who was looking at the sword. Now that the fire is gone, it just seems like a golden sword. You know, it's like a leather wrapped handle, but like it seems like it's just like one
Solid gold
sword. So there's not like a switch or like a fire button or anything like that. It just seems like it's just a sword that's gold.
Okay.
Was that gold that we drink?
Yeah.
Take it out of it.
So I was thinking I'll take it just for them
Sword.
to, either for me to use or for them to use to break down into the little tinctures.
Great.
Thaddeus was using the road. If I can remember his freaking voice, it's more of a physical thing than anything.
Was it in a southern accent?
Yeah, but I like my mind is so stupid that I can just completely
Yeah,
forget.
that's stupid.
My mind is stupid.
Hey.
This may
The shadow was stupid.
come in handy. And then as he puts it into his side bag, kind of to himself, more than to you, but you know, obviously here it goes. Sometimes to learn of our enemies, we must become them.
Sure. What did you pocket? I'm sorry.
The robe and the key.
Oh, okay, cool. And I guess like you took the access card and the key and everything. You would recognize the access card too, actually, and it is just like a access badge at Graceland. Like that's like what you would use to get in through like doors and different like get to access points.
For Grace.
For Grace.
As I look at the face of the flint, is he an orderly?
Mhm.
No. I say, well, I think I know where we should go next. Starlight.
Starlight. If anyone else has anything to do, we can Starlight.
Starlight.
Cool. Starlight.
We didn't need to talk to Deck. Was Deck waiting for us outside or anything?
No, he did not come with you.
Okay.
No, he stayed far away from.
Okay.
Yeah. Bleed contamination and all that. Yeah, he's hanging out with Gerald, who lives to serve.
While we're walking
Yes.
to the
Graceland?
to Graceland, yeah.
The asylum.
And Hollow Harbor is right beside the sidle, so like it would be a reasonable like you're walking there, like you wouldn't.
Thaddeus pulls McCoy aside, and he's got shards of glass in his face, and a shuriken is dislodged from his chest, and without looking at her at all, it was just more of like an elbow nudge while y'all are walking. He goes, "Is there anything you can do about this?"
So Dan and I had like planned to have a fight.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pulling the card right now. Go for
Well,
it.
I was actually gonna say I don't know if I really want to fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not what this is. This is how
Okay,
you
okay,
say it.
okay.
Yeah, whatever you would do.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. And then of
The
course.
God's puppeting these things.
Please stop making me punch you. I punch. McCoy says, she kind of like cuffs a little bit and then says, yeah, just a second. And she pulls out her medical equipment. She also hasn't taken out hers, the shuriken that's in her shoulder yet either. So as we're walking, she says, okay, hang on 1 second. And she turns to the other side, she pulls out her pliers and pulls it out, I would say, medium speed. She doesn't rip it out, but she's also not super gentle. Kind of pulls it out and then puts a bandage on it. And as she's doing that, she says, interesting that you're letting me help you for once. And then as she's like pulling tweezers, pulling the glass out of your face.
You just go, it's the only person in your hair.
I said I didn't want to fight, Dan! And so she says, interesting, explain to me why you're here again?
Waves in the background.
Y'all are saying that as you like walk up, you're like getting to the like walking up the steps, about to open the door. As you do that, the doors bust open as a kind of hurried figure starts to leave the sanatorium, and he kind of almost walks into you and sorry, and he goes around you and keeps walking. This was very random. It was a man in a lavender suit. He had a lavender top hat, a lavender blazer, vest, pants, shoes.
Nerd.
And it was a random person to see walking around the race like, but this nerd, this lavender nerd you just saw, was none other than. Let me open up my.
The Mad Hatter.
It was the Mad Hatter. It's like, what in the world was he doing here?
It's like a mayor.
Yeah, it was actually Mayor Gil Gaffney.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, the mayor of New Fair. Mayor Gil Gaffney was exiting the sanatorium in a hurry. And he just keeps moving and he leaves, and it's just kind of a random like, oh, the mayor's leaving. And now you're at the front steps of Graceland.
As I put the tweezers away, I say, I don't think I've ever seen him here before. Have I seen him there before?
Roll a focus.
Okay.
A lot of focus rolls. You have to remember a lot of things.
I'm fine with that.
Oh, double sixes!
Oh!
Great roll to do that on.
Nice.
6.
Yeah.
Who was this guy in a suit?
He's never been.
So you actually know that what you just said was silly because
I was just trying to confuse that.
yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. You know that Gil Gaffney and Dr. Kane, the Dean of Medicine at the sanatorium, are just have a very close relationship. You don't know if they're like friends or what, but you just know that like
Or what?
they work together behind closed doors a lot. Like he comes to see her specifically, kind of thing. He sometimes does like the mayor thing where he'll like check in on the patients, but it's felt very performative, and it's kind of few and far between. It more seems like it's like I came to meet Dr. Kane, and now that I'm here, I need to look like a good mayor, almost kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and he is always very jovial at the front, but you don't love him. He just feels very like bloviating and a little bit like pomp and
Google's bloviating.
yeah, like
He's like a blimp. He's
his
like a
whole
He's like a
his whole
dirigible.
persona just doesn't match the vibe of what New Fair is, but yeah, he's a frequenter of specifically the Dean of Medicine's office.
As I get distracted by watching him go by, and I'm thinking all of those thoughts in my mind, and then I kind of look at Thaddeus and say, "To be continued," and walk inside. And as I'm going, I'm pulling the shuriken on my shoulder.
Nice. Cool. All right. So you enter Gray Slate, and there's like a receiving entranceway, reception room, whatever you would call it. And there's a man behind a desk, and he looks up from writing some papers. Says, "Oh, Dr. McCoy, welcome back. Didn't expect to see you so soon. Who are your friends?"
Well, I didn't expect to be back so soon, but we were in the neighborhood, and we decided to stop by. We'd like to see Dr. Kane.
Okay. Why? He's got a golden sword.
It's a collectible.
Roll. Roll a sway roll.
No
Okay,
way.
okay. I have 3 for that.
You got it from a cereal box.
He mailed it in.
No
Sixes
again.
Double 6s and a 3.
Wow. Cool. Here's the keys to the whole super. Yeah.
You are the mayor
What do
now.
you want to know? I'll tell you everything.
He goes, okay. Dr. Kane actually, she just finished an appointment, so she's free to go. I'll let her know that y'all are on your way.
Excellent.
Enjoy your day. And he kind of gives the sort of like a kind of like half glance and then just smiles and nods and holds down a button. He's like, Dr. Kane, Dr. McCoy is here for you. And you hear the voice like, sure, send him up.
You should maybe hide that.
I also say it sucks. There's some unpredictable folks around here. For once, I agree with Thaddeus.
I try and hide it the best I can in my jacket.
Nice.
Just like a gold belt by your
Amazing. Cool. So you make your way through the halls of Grace Lake to Dr. Kane's office, and she opens the door. She says, "McCoy,
Mavis.
good to see you again. Come on in, Florence. Who do I have the pleasure of meeting here?
I'm Ox.
Ox?
Thaddeus Blackwood of the Academy.
Good afternoon, Thaddeus Blackwood of the Academy. Good evening, I should say.
Mm.
Thaddeus Blackwood of the Academy.
It is good to meet a friend of McCoy's.
Certainly, McCoy and I have an excellent working relationship.
McCoy glares daggers at Thaddeus.
Good evening, Doctor. I'm Wade.
Wade, great to meet you, Wade. What brings a sanatorium volunteer and 3 new faces to my office this evening?
McCoy lays out the scrap of cloth from the orderly and the ID and says, Mavis, have you seen these before?
She picks up the badge and she kind of holds it over. This is strange. These are the badges that we keep before we assign them to any of our orderlies, so this is certainly familiar. I don't know how this got out into the world. We keep them here, and this is seems like it's a piece of cloth from one of our uniforms.
This was found at the scene of a murder. My associates are involved in the investigation, and I am as well, and any insight you have into how these could have arrived at the crime scene would be really appreciated. And I'm also kind of trying to read into what her, is she being deceptive? Is there any kind of like, what is her
Body language.
body language throughout this?
Press X to doubt.
Make a read roll.
I am also going to help, and in doing so, I'm going to add to the story by saying I am writing a paper on the lunacy associated with seeing phenomena, and this came up as part of my research.
I see. I am not sure how phenomenon murders have anything to do with our sanatorium. Go ahead and make your roll.
Okay, so I have 2 and it's gilded, so I roll, and then are you helping? Are you like spending a drive? Or are you?
If helping entails spending a drive, right?
Yeah, you would spend a drive, and then
Yeah.
she would gain a dice.
I will
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
3 6s.
No, but I did get
Did
a
a
6 and a 5.
A
Nice.
gilded 6.
I gilded 6.
The drive. Does he get the drive
I
back?
don't think.
I think it's just cool.
I wish.
That's what
Yeah.
I figured that help was also not very helpful to you personally, like as a character. Like it's not the best
Oh, probably not.
verbiage, right?
But Rachel appreciates it.
Yeah.
The moment that you said like these are involved with like a murder and stuff, you saw that she tensed up a little bit. It's hard to know if she's like outright lying, but you know that she just is now on guard. You can notice that there's a little bit of brow sweat as she responds.
Who has access to these ID cards other than the orderlies they're assigned to?
We keep them in our onboarding department. I mean, they shouldn't leave there unless someone was a new employee and they forgot to add their we didn't we oversaw something, missed something and didn't add their personal details. I really don't know how this would have left the office. Maybe someone accidentally kept it on their person. Could be a whole lot of things. I'm not sure.
So seeing this is something about this. I like her, which is rare, and I want to apply a little pressure to her.
Okay.
But I'm gonna kind of like look at the party around me, and then I'm gonna look back at her. We're gonna say something, Wade?
Doctor, do you have a database that shows us who this ID is associated to?
When it's in this state, we wouldn't, because they really aren't assigned anymore. I mean, I can certainly run it and see if it's assigned to someone, but I don't see why it would be. And McCoy, you can almost see that like his asking that almost like in a way seems to like relieve her a little bit. And she takes the ID card and she goes over to a ledger that she's got on her desk, and she looks at the number that's on the ID card and she runs down. She's like, no, see, it's unassigned. Someone must have just accidentally walked out with this card. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry to send y'all on a wild goose chase, but I have a lot of patience to see to. So if there's nothing else,
I don't want to cut anyone off. I'm gonna interrupt her and I'm gonna say, Mavis, this is, I've worked here, given a lot of time and energy to this place. I care about the patients. You know that.
of course.
If this comes to light that Gracelet is involved in a murder, we already are struggling for funding. You're gonna lose everything. I don't want that to happen. Do you know anything about how this could have happened? And I'm trying to like sway her, basically.
Roll a sway roll.
Okay.
Ew.
6.
Yeah.
You're killing it with these rolls.
Nice.
Well, I've got a lot in the cunning category. We're kind of in my wheelhouse right now. Not
Literally.
the fight. I got glasses shirt.
Yeah, Mavis is like full on sweating now. Her eyes gonna dart to the 3 companions. She's like, and she gets much quieter. Florence, I would lose everything either way. You don't know what you've just gotten yourself involved in. There are forces at play that are beyond your imagination.
Look, we are already involved well beyond that being our first issue with what we were getting into. In fact, you work to improve the health and safety of people in New Fair, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Assisting us in our line of work will do that to greater measures than you yourself could ever dream or accomplish.
Is the door open to her office?
We went in and she closed the door.
Okay. I'm gonna walk over to the door and lock it.
Okay.
And seeing that, Thaddeus will then add, and preventing helping us will stop so much more help and care happening than you could ever imagine.
And you pull out the head of the shadow.
Look at it!
Yeah,
You know who this is.
Y'all have successfully spooked the Dean of Medicine.
Yes!
Yeah. She gulps, and how much do you know about Pyre?
I pulled the gold sword out.
Ah.
She doesn't recognize it at all. She's like,
Okay.
The Pyre, as I'm sure you're aware, is a unofficial wing of the Ascendancy. No one of the Ascendancy would claim to know of Pyre's existence, but Pyre's very much active. They're very much active in this hotel. Sanatorium.
We call it a hotel. It sounds nicer.
A hotel for
Extended
wacky
stay.
times. A wacky hotel. I don't know how this started, but a belief that began somewhere in the Ascendancy and worked its way into Pyre is that mental illness is not an illness, it is magic that has corrupted the brain. And the belief that Pyre has latched onto is that the only way to deal with magic is to destroy magic. They take our weakest minds and they take them below the sanatorium. I have never been down there. I only know that we are asked to make stories of failed medical treatments and sudden episodes and anything we can to explain away these disappearances, but we simply allow these Pyres to take these ID cards, and they have full access of our facilities, and they take our patients, and we can't do anything. The Ascendancy is too powerful in this city. And as she's talking, like, it's like silent, like, tear streaks are like running down her face as she's like looking at the floor, and it's almost like the weight of the shame of like she's realizing what she's been a part of and like complicit in as she's like talking out all of this. And she's like, we keep a record of who they take, and it is where I come in is just coming up with a good enough story.
The people of New Fair deserve better than that. We should not be under the foot of some bullish power that would force us into such dire circumstances. I understand your complacency and your participation. I will not hold that against you. But
I will.
but we are talking about exposing the ugly, ugly underbelly of an organization that is destroying us from within.
Do no harm. And you call yourself a doctor.
Doctor, your complacency has stained your hands red with blood.
She even like reflexively like looks at her hands and sort of clenches them and like unclenches, and she is looking down at the table and she's nodding. She's like, I know.
We need the list of names of people who have been brought down there.
They operate at night. There would be a new group headed there now, and she pulls kind of a keychain out of her neck, and she undoes a drawer, and she opens a drawer, and she pulls out a lockbox, and she like fills with the key, and the key, like, it's almost like a little puzzle mechanism where there's another key in the key. She opens that box and then pulls out a small notebook, and she hands the notebook to you, I guess.
Okay.
And she says, if you go to the service stair on the far end of the hall and take it all the way down, there will be a door with 2 maintenance members that are working on the remainder of the stairwell. They will tell you that it's closed. These are members of Pyre, and they are very dangerous. If you can find a way past them, you'll be able to get to where they are taking the patients.
I can get us past them.
Well,
I hope that you keep that.
The mayor left in quite a hurry earlier. I imagine he knows about this as well.
All that the mayor knows is that the Ascendancy has as much a stranglehold on this sanatorium as it does his own office. That is all.
thank you.
Is there like whiskey or alcohol, like a decanter of anything in the office?
And she has a little drink table off to the side.
As Ox was asking that, I went over and poured her a drink, and then took it over and kind of plopped it in front of her. And then I grabbed her shoulder and said, "You did the right thing, Mavis." And then say, "Shall we?"
Goodbye.
And I say, "I'll come see you after. We can help you." And then I have something that I would do as we're going out, just to say. But
Okay.
if there's anything else you want to know.
Like you want to say one final thing as you leave? Or?
No, actually, I'm gonna say, I think we should try and keep her safe, too. And then I would do something as we open the door.
Oh, okay. She's gonna hold out her hand to you, to like as if like a handshake.
I'm gonna look her in the eye and say, "You don't deserve this." And then I'm gonna say, "But neither do I." And I take her hand and shake it.
Okay. She like very quickly, like the handshake like becomes not exactly a hug, but she like pulls you in tight and she puts her hand on you. And she just like as faintly as humanly possible, like into your ear. She's just gonna say, "Elias spoke." And then she steps back, and then she like finishes the handshake, and she like takes a deep breath and like straightens her like garb, and then she goes and she like sits at the desk, and yeah, she just like is kind of like expectant to like, "All right, bye," you know.
I would do something as we exit, just to say. But does anyone else have anything that they wanna?
Nah, I mean, I think Wade would just be ultimately frustrated in the situation. He's going to spit on the ground and just kind of storm out. The reality is that a lot of his brothers and comrades that he fought with likely ended up in the asylum, and so they probably were killed. But he's going to have to review the list later and check to see if anyone that he knows was murdered.
Is this where my mom would be?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh wow. Didn't even think about that. Oh man.
So throw that out there. All right.
Wow.
Nathan's leaving 3 minutes. My mom's here. No.
Oh, wow.
I would have known that too. Okay.
I feel like I visit her often enough to know that she would be missing.
If she was missing, you mean?
I mean, do you want to look at the list?
I'm going to hand him the book.
Yeah. And to be clear, like, this is the list of, like, who's going down there tonight. Doesn't it mean that, like, the past pages are, like, dead people, but the page that you're on is, like, tonight. Ox, your mom's name is on this page.
Okay.
And there's a few other...
Did you know that before I said anything?
Yeah. I did.
No way.
It became much more direct. Yeah, there's a handful of names. You see... yeah, none of the other names mean anything to you, but hers is the name that stands out. There's only like 5 names on it, but...
Where are we at while this is being read? Can we be in a private room?
I mean, I could say, like, you passed the list to him as y'all, like, left the office.
Yeah.
You're, like, headed in the direction of where she told you to go.
Well, as we're heading in that direction, could Thaddeus find maybe a private room where we could have a conversation before we proceed?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's, like,
Okay.
kind of like San Antonio, they're random, like...
Yeah. Maybe like
Every now and then there's a
unused-
room that's unused kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
like a
cool.
closet.
I kind of like lead us off into that room while you're still reading and you're catching up on stuff, and while maybe you two are talking about that. Thaddeus, okay, older man, long white hair, long white beard, the hair's kind of pulled up, as he's typically wearing his more professorial garb and all of that, begins to unbutton that and take it off, and then at this point he's just like pants with a ropish like belt tied up, and you can just see the more like gaunt chest and like sparse chest hair and stuff like that too. But now he has he takes out a vial of some concoction from his lab kit, and as he begins to mix some things up, a small flame is produced by some of the ways that he builds up those chemicals, and then he takes the key from the bag, which has the symbol of the ascendancy, and he gets the key really hot, and then without much of a wince or anything, he just like moves his beard off to the side and burns the symbol of the ascendancy onto his chest.
Wow.
And then starts to use some of that flammable liquid to the best of his memory, and while he's kind of laying back, just starts to try to recreate the tattoo in this very crude burn. While then also trying to follow all of that up with some form of like salve to stop the burning and the heating, but kind of does that off on his own while you were reading the list.
I'm going to take the book back from Ox and just look to see if any of my comrades are on there. Don't need to roll folks or anything like that.
No. I mean, you wouldn't know their names.
Okay.
You see one name on that list. Travis Peters. And that is one of your former war buddies that's on this short list of 5 names.
Like he's on the names that are going down there tonight.
I'm kind of like looking over Wade's shoulder as he's looking at the list to see if there's anyone that I would recognize.
Yeah.
Do I know Travis?
You don't know. You might be familiar with Travis actually, because y'all interacted with
In
him.
the same time.
Yeah, so you would know Travis. You also see that Conroy's on this list too, who you talked to earlier, with the one-handed man.
I kind of like am holding Wade's shoulder, and I say, "Damn it, we're gonna get him." And then
I sure hope so. He fought hard, but he's seen a lot. And he doesn't deserve to die this way.
You're right. We'll stop it. And I turn towards Thaddeus,
Nice.
and
Nathan, just for your awareness, it's 5:01.
I know.
Okay.
Good day. Wade is then just going to turn into an NPC.
T-pose.
He just goes, disconnect.
Yeah. Brief intermission.
I was going to try to, we could even do it this way,
Sure.
is if, we can look through the book and see other fallen soldier names and it just overwhelms him and you just go back to the bar. And honestly just stay there. And just drink.
Okay. He doesn't even want to go down to the bottom. He just is like too freaked out.
Yeah, I think. Unless, it would prove worthy for him to stay in and
Sure.
do that.
I guess that it's up to you of where you think he is at mentally. Do you think that he sees this and he's like, I have to go and protect my brothers, or is it the PTSD and overwhelmingness of just the war, seeing these names is too much? It's I'm so sorry, I can't see this through. Best of luck, and then you peace out. I think both of those are interesting and go in different directions, but. Because we'll run it for you if you want to be a part of it.
We can play for you.
We can if you want to
We
stick
won't
around.
kill you, don't worry.
But also, war is horrible and everyone reacts in different ways. So it's
Yeah.
it could be I'm out.
Either way.
Sorry.
No, I think to for team wise, more of a meta thinking is I think it would prove beneficial for him. On a character level, I think he would be just more ultimately frustrated with how this asylum was handled, and he would want to avenge his fallen comrades.
Okay.
But with that,
Yes.
good day.
Thank you for playing.
Good day, good stuff.
Good day, sir.
We will recap you mightily and play in your honor with only 6 rules.
Only 6.
Only 6 rules.
Jacob
Yeah.
Kirby let us play his character once, and he was immediately killed by
We
dragons.
killed him very quickly.
We won't do that.
We won't do that
That's
for
an
you,
example of what we won't do.
Don't worry.
We learned from our mistakes.
Yeah.
We sure do.
Alright.
Thanks, Nathan.
Fight well, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks. May thy knife chip and shatter.
Wait, really?
That's right. There's a Dune reference for you at home. Okay. So did you say that you wanted to do something before you left Mavis? Or?
Yeah. Is it too late to?
I don't know.
Well, all I was gonna do is just as we left the hall, or open the door, I was going to yell and say, "Fine, thanks for nothing," and kind of stomp out as if in classic McCoy fashion, as if to imply that she didn't help us, and I would be yelling down the hall to make sure that people heard that.
Cool. So heads turn and they just kind of go back to their business. Oh, weird. Cool. All right, so we'll say that happened, and then Thaddeus's branding happened, and now, other than that, we're probably booking it to where she told you to go. Okay, so y'all head to the hallways. It's an interesting crew, and most of the doctors just kind of as you go by, they're like, wait, what? And then at one point you pass, who was it? It was Smith. Yeah, Bo Smith was one of the orderlies that was in the room earlier, and he's like, McCoy, what are you doing? Who's this? Where are y'all going? What? Passing the hallways. It's like, wait, what? What's happening?
My mouse, Smith.
Oh, okay. And then y'all keep moving down the stairway, and then heading down the stairs.
Wait.
Oh,
At some point, I'm putting on the Flint robe.
oh, okay.
So I don't know if that would have made sense to do early, right after the branding, or after we get through some aspect. If I had known
Okay.
we were going to be passing through a lot of irregular floors, I wouldn't have done it yet.
Okay.
But we're getting close
Cool.
to
So you get to that stairwell, you look for another private space, put those robes on,
Mhm.
and then you make your way down. And you go down to the ground floor, and then there's another door that I think I said that if I didn't say that she gave you a key, she did, and that unlocked that door. And then there's another staircase, and as you go down there, there's just at one of the landings, the stairs that would continue have some rope across them, and there are 2 men dressed like they're workers, but they're just chilling, they're just hanging out, and they look up like, "Sir, you're closed," and they see you in your robe, and they like hesitate, and they like you see them like looking at your face as if like confused that it's uncovered, you know, but they're kind of like looking between, and they're like one of them like almost uncertainly like pulls up a sleeve and you see a branding on his wrist, and then the other one like kind of like looks at you sideways, so you see there's like a brand like behind his ear, like very small, and they don't say anything, but they just wait, and they're very like tense.
Just slowly pull the robe back and just show the top section where that key burned in.
They both say from ember to ash, and they like bow, and then they undo the ropes, and they kind of like stand at attention on the other side of the room.
Thaddeus was like holding Fox's hand as they were walking by, and as he's leaning down, he says the same. He goes from embers to ash, and like he's like squeezing your hand like so tightly. You feel so much anger in him as he's doing it.
All right. So as y'all continue down, the silver lampposts that had been like lining the hallways throughout the hallway, as you continue down into the stairwell, the lampposts switch in two ways. Now they are torches, like torch sconces on the walls. And you also notice that the like handles of the torches are also like gold inlay, like they wrap all the way up the torch. And you continue down this hallway, and then you find like it feels like you're now under like what the established building was, and the whole like make any one of you that wants to can make a focus roll.
Heck yeah. 1 and a gold. And it doesn't have to just be me, right? Is that what you're saying?
No. Yeah, it can be any of you. But
I can make one too. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey,
Ooh.
double six.
Okay, so I can better than that.
Great, yeah, I mean that's fitting. I think that it's odd because geographically, like y'all are still pretty high up, in terms of just like new fair structure and everything, but like the literally like the material of stone that y'all are now in, you immediately recognize from when y'all dove into the ruins under South Soffit. It feels like you're not low enough, and so that's just why it's a little confusing. Like, wait a second, like we're not deep enough for this to be old fair, but it does seem like it's like old fair in architecture that you suddenly have like broken into as y'all are walking down this hallway. And it's a pretty simple hallway. There are torches kind of on either side, and then up at the front there is an enormous stone door with all sorts of like gold inlay, like carvings and runes and patterns and things, just kind of gold wrapping all around these stone doors. And you don't see like a seam in it at all, but you do see like at the very center of this door there's just a small keyhole. What do you do?
Can I read any of the runes that are on the door?
Make a focus roll.
Did we already use the key that Mavis gave us?
Yes.
So who has the key from the guy that...
Probably.
The gold key from the houses?
Gilded 6.
Nice.
Hey,
Exactly.
get back to drive.
For helping me
Nice.
That's right.
We're killing it. Drive-wise.
Yeah, so it's all, it is, you know that it's Old Faran language, and a lot of it is just like Old Faran words, and like, you know that it's like alchemical phrases, and you can't fully pick out like, or I guess how much would you have studied like Old Faran language and stuff, just like as a character thing? Like,
that would have been a pretty big influence.
Okay, cool. So I would say that you are seeing that this is not just like willy-nilly like writings of words. Like this is a like here lies, like it's almost like you're reading a tombstone, and it is like describing a alchemist. Alchemist's name is Rebus, and it doesn't give any sort of last name. It's Rebus, Rebis, and and it says that he was like, here lies Rebus. He was on the council of the High Alchemists. Like personal, like envoy to Empress Iamine, and it like goes on to describe just different like alchemical like accomplishments of his, and just almost like you're reading like a eulogy kind of thing. And then it has like a beware on it, you know, it's like beware to whoever comes in these tombs. It's like, as with the other alchemists, Rebus is guarded by one of the 4 pets of the High Alchemist. And then to be forever undisturbed through time and memoriam, and that's all that's kind of like woven around in all of these runes and things.
Okay. Does it strike me as weird that sphere of my study of this old fair, alchemy, etc., that would be somewhere that the Ascendancy would like be heavily involved in, but like them being present here?
Yeah, it makes no sense to you. Like, it feels like opposite worlds are like weirdly combined in a way. And so it's like, this doesn't, why would these things have anything to do with this?
Yeah. Okay. As I'm fiddling to get the key that I burned my flesh with, I will turn back to the pool party because he's still here, and just say they are playing with very powerful relics and entities from our people's past. These are the last people you should see holding that much power. Leaves it at that. Pulls the key out to open the door. If the key does even, but that was my assumption.
Nice. So you pull out the key, and you're putting it in the door, you're doing the whole try to unlock the door thing?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You die.
Yeah, so unlike like a door that would swing open, the door, like you pull the key and take the key back out, and the door just sort of rolls into the side of the wall, just kind of like, and then it is not a dark chamber, it is actually a illuminated chamber, and you see, are you going into the room, or are you all trying to like sneak, or I don't know, it'd be hard to sneak.
I haven't been leading them in, like, as if we belong there.
So you walk in, and lining the room, there's actually 4, there's 2 and 2. You see, it's as if like that same Flint assassin that you saw earlier, except like invert the color scheme. Just like everywhere that like there was red and orange and yellow on the assassin, it's just like the color is like in a different place for these people. And they have these little, almost like crowns over their robe as well, like something kind of like ornate and golden. And they're all chanting in old Faring like speak. They're all like chanting like these old words that you're recognizing as like the old Faring transition of like from embers to ash, like over and over again, like the old Faring equivalent of that. And each of the 4 has like leashed to them a patient in like a gown, and the 4th.
The 4 with the crowns.
The 4 with the crowns each have like a patient with them, kind of thing. And then in the center of the room, you see that the like further into the room there is kind of, it goes up and you see like a slab that it's too far away to tell exactly what it is, but it's like it raises up into some sort of rectangular something, and there's a little bit of a landing around that, and you see a 5th individual in these robes with their patient, and you see them just like shove the patient like past where the stone thing is, like down like a hill almost, like we're down out of sight past the structure.
Are there people in regular wear here, or is everyone in robes?
The patients are in gowns,
Right.
and the cult people are in robes, and that's all there is there.
So we're kind of sticking out because we've got 3 people who are not.
3 people not, yeah. And so as you walk in, like the 2 nearest the door would like turn and like they see you standing there, and they don't move at all. They tense up,
Yeah.
but they don't do anything.
Okay.
And it seemed like the body language is make a, if you so want to, a read roll.
Read.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have 1 in that.
Can I make one as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems worth it. I'm gonna burn a drive for it.
Can I have
Go.
Yeah.
3.
6.
Roll with a 6.
They both make. Okay. So they, from body language, you notice, McCoy, that they seem like afraid of you. Like they're not like moving to attack. They're like on guard, but just like fearful.
I whisper that to Thaddeus and Ox. They seem afraid of us.
They just kind of freeze up, and then the one kind of up by the structure is now facing you, and also kind of frozen, just standing there, like looking at you. And then as that happens, you hear a scream from past them, and this like loud, just kind of roaring, guttural sound, and the like the robed figure starts to walk down the hill towards you.
What color robe is he wearing?
Same as the other ones before they were running, like they're dressed the same way.
With that roll, can I see if they're afraid of all of us or specifically Thaddeus? Like, where are their eyes looking?
They are mostly looking at. It's hard to tell because they're covered in robes, you know.
Okay.
But they are swinging between. Well, here's a neutral question. Do y'all have like visible weapons right now?
I would have given him the gold sword to put under his robe just in case they wanted to see it.
Cool. So yeah, they're pretty focused on Thaddeus, and they just seem very like tense and frozen.
I communicate that to Thaddeus.
Okay. I nod, but then I turn over towards Ox. Do you see her? Is she here?
Yes, but I don't want to draw attention to my relation to her.
Do we see Travis as well?
Yeah, so of the people lining the wall, you see Conroy, that one-handed man. You see Travis. You see
Colette.
There's a woman, Colette, who's there too. There's one other woman that none of you recognize, and then it's too late to know who was sent over the edge on the far end of the room.
I want to let you know which one she was. I would say like 1, 2, or 3, whatever. But I don't want it to seem as though anybody in there is important to me, that they could be used as a ploy or something like that.
I think that at this point we must stop this in any way possible. And I'm saying that, shifting my gaze from you over towards Wade and kind of just looking over towards where he keeps his gun. And I'm with my hands still with Ox's, and kind of a hands to the back of Wade's, almost like pushing him forward. I'm moving our group as close and forward to where they have the patients, and just like moving us forward.
As you do that, I would whisper to you, should we try and bluff them? Maybe tell them we've been discovered and we need to move quickly. Something like that.
It's a good start, I think. Yeah, better than brash violence. Oh.
You're the one they're scared of.
Because the main guy's walking towards you. You got it.
Yeah. Give me a name. Who upstairs sold them out?
Maybe the mayor. That's why you know.
You tell them we come from Elias. His sons were direct orders. We don't know how, but we compromise.
Okay. And what I know who Elias Smoke is off the name, I imagine not.
No.
Okay, so that's just what you got whispered to you, and so yeah, I'm just running with that as I'm pushing way forward, and you're whispering right to my left, and I'm pulling axe from behind. I will then release, and oh my gosh.
I would have said he's our leader, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Let's lean into this.
Any way I'm gonna help you.
Brothers. I just want to be out. We go brothers. And then I'm going to let go of the hand and put it off the back, and I'm going to pull out the gold sword and just hold it straight up into the air. And then I'm going to say, we have been sold out, and Candela is coming. They know of what we are doing. We must stop this now, hide the evidence, and stop from our acts, lest we be found out and sin.
That immediately kind of, like an unsteady murmur kind of rolls through the room, and the one that was walking towards you freezes and says, You dare speak His Eminence's name aloud? Here?
I didn't say it.
Yeah, he did say it.
Oh. I missed that.
Don't say it!
Don't say it!
Just kidding.
I have it like
You didn't
in the
hear that.
chamber, but I didn't say it. Yeah.
Alright, he freezes, and you see him kind of look up at your sword,
Mm-hmm.
and like the head sort of cocks,
Mm-hmm.
and it is unusual for a member of the Flint to come to the sacrificing grounds. Even in this circumstance, I am unsure, and like the from the split, it's hard to say exactly. Like it seems like it's like going from like your uncovered head to the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Ignite your sword.
Great. And so I get very frustrated, and I am going to drop the name. And but I will just like, with the authority of Elias Smoke, this is unheard of. We should react to this with haste. But and then I'm going to kind of reach into my coat and I'm pull out the alchemical stuff that used to create fire before. I'm just going to like roll it down the sleeve and crush it in my hand, which I imagine burns my hand.
Yes.
And I'm going to let it drop down the sword so that it would coat it, and then I will lift it up into the air.
Okay. And are you igniting it with that?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you'll take a body because you burned
Just a
yourself.
scar. 'Cause
Nice.
that's I said that knowing.
That's a pretty epic scar, though.
Because this is so bad.
It is.
Yeah.
Wow.
So with light smoke, there's a gasp again. There's the rustle. There's the he says you dare, and then the sword ignites,
Mm-hmm.
and then catches on fire, and then you drop.
Yeah.
And then you hit the ground, and this sword is going to start to catch your robe too, and your robe is going to start to smoke a little bit as you're hearing capacity on the ground. And there's a louder murmur, and the all of the people in robes around the edge of the room, including the one in the center, they say, "Forgive us, Eminence! Forgive us! Forgive us! We are sorry! We are sorry!" And they all are just like kind of looking up at the up into the sky, and they the four that have the patients, they start to move the patients towards the center of the room, and then they each undo the shackle that they had like connecting them to these patients, and they like basically like bowing and with their hands like up in this motion, like they all like run out of the, like they try to run like past y'all and like leave the chamber, like leaving you alone with the patients basically. And like the moment that the last like cultist like leaves the room, you hear more growling from beyond the like stone space, and like just over like the lip of that like landing, you see what looks like an ink black like hand, almost like a human hand, except that it's very like the fingers are very like sharp and pointed. The hand goes up, and then beside it, another hand comes up, and then on the other side of those two more hands come up, and then beside those two hands, two more, and then what slowly kind of like pulls up
Not hands.
is like it like starts to crawl up over the dais, but it's just like a thick centipede, but if instead of like legs it was just like arms, and down this like middle of the underbelly is just like teeth that are like opening, and then on the end you have these two like glowing amber eyes that start to peek out over the edge, and it starts to crawl over, and like it just like keeps going, like it's just like how much of this is there kind of thing. But it starts crawling out and growling, and the patients kind of in the middle of the room start to kind of get flustered and freak out a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna run over to, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna look at Ox and, I'm gonna look at Wade, and I'm gonna say, get Thaddeus. And we also do have an extra dice to that whatever, if Wade needs to do something, that's our triple ability. And I was gonna say, look to Ox and say, let's get them, and like run over to the patients. And as I run over to the patients, I'm gonna yell and like have a lot of experience with these patients, maybe I know them. So I'm gonna clap my hands and I'm gonna say, like yell as loud as I can and say, I think maybe a favorite thing of the patients at the hospital is pudding night. And I'm gonna say, I have great news. It is pudding night, but we only have how many patients are there? Four cups. We only have 4 cups, so I need you guys to run with me as fast as you can. Let's go! Like in a cheerful, whatever tone I perceive to be most effective with them. That's what I'm gonna do.
And as you're saying that, there is a resounding thud on the far back side of the room again, and the circular door is closed.
Behind us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the priest ran out and they closed it.
Those buttons.
And the growling creature is creeping closer and closer towards you, and it's like the front like 4 arms on it are like reaching out towards these patients.
What else do we see in the room?
Can I, I've been thinking about this the whole time, can I say that I have like a flash bomb or a smoke type thing that I carry with me?
Flashbang kind of thing?
I'd throw that over the patients in front of the creature to disorient but also visually impair while the patients are looking at us and whatnot.
I would still be trying to pull them patients away towards the door, like with the pudding thing, like trying to.
Great. Make a control roll.
I don't have anything in that. So what does that mean?
You're gonna roll 2 and take the lower.
Dan, do you have anything in control?
No, it is not.
Well, Dan is incapacitated.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Dan is not. That is.
Okay. He has drives and nerve.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So,
you should be looking at that sheet. I realize.
Yeah.
Wade is
I can't do anything if I have move or strike,
So
right?
do you want to give it to Wade? I don't know.
For him to throw.
This is too meta, probably.
I don't think that I would have.
Okay,
I feel like I would
okay.
have just grabbed it and
Okay.
thrown it.
Well, then Wade is gonna like be morally supporting you.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I throw it and then I just tell them on impact, close your eyes, so that we don't get flashbang as well.
So he's gonna spend a drive
Oh, is he?
to help you. I would say. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
y'all.
I think that's
So, but I still take the lowest.
if you can spend a drive there, and you would get 2 dice. But well, if he spends a drive to help you, you would roll 1 dice and just use that die.
Okay.
But if you spend a drive and he spend a drive, then you have 2 dice, and you don't have to take the lower.
Okay, I'll spend
He
the
has
drive
2.
too then.
He has spend 1. You spend 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So the grenade goes off, and the creature kind of like shrieks and like reels back. It doesn't seem too affected, but it has been like stalled. At the sound of your voice, your mom like turned quickly to like look in the direction of you, like familiar voice kind of thing. And Conroy also like turned away with his eyes closed. The other two did not react in time. The bang goes off, and they're like, they react as if they've also been blinded by this thing. Travis and then the other unknown patient, and so they're now very disoriented as well as this thing is kind of roaring and flailing around, and its arms are just kind of like slashing out wildly as it gets kind of dangerously closer to the patients, but it was slowed down by this grenade.
How are they reacting to the pudding? I would be trying to like anything I can to like soothe them and like get their attention, even in the midst of the flashbang, like trying to pull them as far away from them as I can.
Yeah. Colette and Travis were starting to move towards you. Conroy was very fixated on the creature, and then the other unknown patient was also starting to move towards you. But then like seeing the thing fly and all of that, like it was kind of like interrupted. The pudding event was interrupted by the flashbang. And also Thaddeus's rope is starting to catch fire. So
I would have told Wade to put that out.
nice. Wade, put it out. We're good. Thanks, Wade.
I look at the sword. Okay, I'm still. I'm focused on the patients. I'm doing anything I can to get their attention, including like grabbing them and covering their ears, trying to. I would focus on Travis and Colette, like triaging, but I'm trying to get them away. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
We can't open the door?
Not that you can tell currently.
Okay. Just from looking at it, it's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything else in the room? What else do we see in the room besides?
Massive cavern. You've got the gilded door on the far end. You've got that structure, the rectangular, hard to say what it is, structure opposite the door. They're on the kind of like to your right. So like if you're looking down at the circle, the doors back here where you came in, the dais and the creature are down here. And then over on the side, almost looks like a cave-in or something. But other than that, it's just like a big, vast cavern that the up goes. You can't tell how.
Is the rectangle thing the sarcophagus?
I was about to say, would we know what happened a month ago or no?
No.
We don't know.
Okay.
I mean, you can't.
So we can.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't.
But it
been
had the
able
shape
to
of a
focus
body
on
on top, right?
I mean, not on top of it, but it just has a rectangular shape.
Okay.
You haven't been able to get close enough to see what's in there.
And there's no light coming in from the cave-in?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Fully covered up.
Okay. So we've been in Candela Obscura a long time, enough to, and we have experience with knowing, like, usually there's some kind of ritualistic thing happening in the room. So, as I'm trying to pull the patients away, I think I would yell to. Would you say that Wade has like moved Thaddeus away at this point, or that's happening?
Yeah. Wade, he put out the ropes and he's gonna move Thaddeus over closer to the door, just try to get him out of harm's way.
I think I would yell out, Wade, the sword! And then maybe I would say, Ox, maybe check the sarcophagus. I think I would say it more less like, maybe you should check the sarcophagus.
At this point, the monster is like crawling over the sarcophagus. Like,
Oh dear, okay, so never mind.
Or whatever the box is.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. So it would be hard to get to because you'd have to run through the patients and the creature to get to that sarcophagus.
Are there any stalactites in here?
The ceiling is too dark to tell,
Okay.
but it's just darkness up there. So maybe.
Anybody got a gun that I know of?
Um,
Like, are either of y'all carrying a gun?
have you already used your 3 weapons? Or your 3
No.
items?
You got a gun.
I guess I have a gun.
You got a gun. Hey, Ox has got a gun.
I have the gold sword, but I guess you have that now.
Well, he dropped it on the ground, so
Okay.
it would be next to where he fell.
I pull out just a little revolver,
Mm-hmm.
packs a punch, but it only has 6 shots in it.
Sure.
I shoot 2 of them up at the ceiling above the thing, hoping that maybe I can cause another cave-in like I saw over to the side.
Sure. You're gonna have to make another finesse roll for that, though.
Finesse!
Or control, sorry.
Oh!
From beyond the grave, you hear Thaddeus now.
What does he say?
I'm kidding, I'm not there.
Oh. Well, but any thoughts?
I'm incapacitated. I'm
Shit. Okay.
on the side.
If I use a drive, then I just get 1 die, so that isn't really worth
But
it.
also,
right?
Wade has another drive
Yeah.
in nerve that we could use. Do you want to use that?
Wade will assist you.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do the same
Use
thing.
all his drives. He's
Let's
not
do
here.
the same
Yeah.
thing
What
we
is?
just
Who
did.
does it care? Oops. Oh my gosh.
Oh, what's it gonna be?
A 6!
That was
Wow!
such a Jumanji. You just Jumanji.
Oh
That
my
was a
gosh.
Jumanji.
Wow! Cool. Yeah. So you fire up into the sky, and you hear like one of the shots kind of ricochets off the wall. The other one there is a crack, and the crack you hear like the crack get louder and louder and louder, and this chunk of what looks like a stalactite like falls down. It lands not on the beast, but it actually hits the rectangular thing on the far side of the wall, and there's this explosion of like rock and rubble and stuff, and spilling down that like hillside, like between y'all and the whatever the box was. You see a bunch of bones go rolling down the hill, but then there's also something that like glints and glimmers like along, like almost mixed in with the bones. That's like, you're still too far away to tell exactly what it was, but as those roll down the hill, you see the monster almost like recoil from the bones, and kind of like this wave of like the arms like stay away from it.
Wow.
As it kind of like goes
it's so
around.
graceful.
Yeah, it's like, to like get away from that, and it roars again, and now it's gonna go for, it's like moving towards the patients, and what do you do?
Is there any way that I could be stabilized and like brought back?
I think that I don't know if you can do. Do you have any? What are your abilities as a doctor? Do you have anything that can like help someone?
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is interesting. Patch up. When you have a few, okay, this isn't gonna help, but I mean, if you can decide to let it help, but according to the rules, it doesn't. When you have a few moments of calm, you can make a focus roll to heal 1 body mark on an ally. On a 4 to 5, spend 2 intuition to accomplish this. On a 6, spend 1 intuition. On a 3 or less, you may take a brain mark instead to take the 4 to 5 result. So technically, he already has a scar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that would quite fit here.
No, yeah.
And it's not really calm.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you had endurance as a skill, you could roll and work through it, but
Alright.
Can I shoot the roof 2 more times? Or does that would I know that wouldn't work?
Can I reach the bones also in time?
I think they're behind it, right?
The creature's going for the people now. So basically, it's almost like you have the patients over here, you have the bones over here, and the creature's kind of going for the patients. So you can go for the bones, but the creature's coming after the patients right now.
I would run for the bones then.
Is
I
there-
would, and then you can keep working with the patients.
Is there anywhere else that it looks like bones might fall out on the side with the patients?
No, it was just that one. Well, not that you can. Doesn't seem like there would be any other reason for there to be bones.
Okay.
I mean, you can make a survey.
Okay, I'll survey.
Should I do a move to go towards the bones?
Yeah, that's great.
A 4.
4.
And that was gilded, so I get 1 back up here, right?
Mm-hmm. Then what are you doing, McCoy?
I don't know. Alright, I want to try and distract the monster and get it to come towards me instead.
Okay.
So I'm gonna run towards the middle of the room, and I I'm gonna say that I have a flashlight in my
Okay.
pack.
Sure.
So I'm gonna take it. No, I'm gonna say that I have a whistle.
Okay.
So I run into the middle, and I this is a whistle that I would use. I don't know why. I would use it to in the military if someone was down and I needed to signal some of the other troops to come and help me pull someone out. Then I would use it for that. So that's why I have this whistle. So I would run into the middle and I blow it as loud as I can, and I'm gonna try and get the monster to come towards me instead of the patients.
Great. Blowing a whistle, it's not hard to blow a whistle. You blow a whistle, and the creature, it's mass where the eyes are kind of shifts over in your direction.
And I would be trying to draw it towards where the bones, not in a way that, I know it won't go onto the bones, but I'm trying to move it over so that to run towards me so that the bones are here and it's not exactly seeing the bones, so that maybe Ox could throw them at him.
Yeah. So with the combination of whistle blowing, you've got a mixed success. So the creatures are gonna start to move your way, but again, it's this writhing centipede mass thing. You're gonna get to the bones, but one of these arms from the centipede is slashing at the patients because it was really close to them.
Oh no.
And don't worry, it's the unnamed patient, but they're gonna get slashed pretty bad, and they hit the ground. And so they get slashed, they hit the ground, they're not moving. The other Conroy is now almost corralling the other patients and trying to move them towards the door.
Good job, Conroy.
So you get to the bones and you see that it was a skeleton that's kind of broken apart as it rolls down the hill, but around in its arm bone, I wish I knew what arm bones were, but you have 2 arm bones, and it looks like in between those bones, almost like it was worked into the arm, there's what looks like a retractable golden blade in their forearm. But because it's bones, you can see that blade pretty easily.
I grab a handkerchief from my pocket and grab that, whatever.
Work it out of
The
the
shin
bones.
bone of your arm.
Yeah.
I'll grab the bone too and the blade
Humorous?
just
Okay.
to have, and then just start running towards McCoy to almost cut off and
Sure.
wave.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna say that Wade, now that he's kind of gotten Thaddeus out of the way, Wade is gonna run towards y'all. Wade, had he marked any other items in his?
It was the pocket knife and the sword.
He didn't write down what they were, but he said hand weapon and heavy weapon. Do you
Yeah,
think
pocket
he would?
knife is
Oh,
fine.
I did yell at him. Wait, the sword, the gold sword.
Okay, yeah. So he grabbed that sword. That's great, and he is gonna take the sword, and he's now running, and he's gonna take a big old swing, just as close to the creature as he can get with this golden sword. What is his strike? You want to roll for him for strike?
Sure. He's used all his. Does anyone else have a? Do you have any more nerve? You might.
I just got one
yours.
back, so I can.
Do you only have one left?
Yes.
So he has one in. Well, it would
But
be
my
strike.
move and strike are both good. He should have 2 in strike.
His would be strike. Oh, sorry. I thought you
Yeah.
said control.
Yeah. I did. Sorry, I meant strike. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he has a gilded.
Yeah.
All right. So should he spend his last drive?
I mean, pretty desperate. This is high stakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a good time.
Oh, actually, he doesn't have any more drives.
Okay.
I lied.
So just to one to Gilded, he might get a drive back.
Should
I mean,
he
I'll
have
spend my
yours?
last one. Yeah, I'll spend my
Okay.
last.
So that's right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I have something called adrenaline rush that I am just not realizing that
Oh,
if
no.
I take a mark, I
Oh, let me
immediately
get those.
refresh a drive point.
That's awesome.
But that just means if I end up taking something.
Spend 1 nerve to choose. Blah, 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 blah. He's not gonna do that. When you want to make a ranged attack with a weapon, no.
Throw the sword.
Well, okay. Is that a ranged attack? No.
Sword. No.
No. Okay,
Throwing
that's,
the.
that's fair.
I mean, if you want to throw.
It's not balanced
That's
to
old.
throw.
I can't look.
Yes,
Six
Gilded
of the
Gilded.
Gilded. 6. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
So he gets his
Drag
back.
back,
Nice.
too.
Wow. In nerve, which is crucial right now.
Heck yeah.
So when he slashes at the creature with this golden sword, it is like a hot knife in like butter.
Is it
Like,
still on fire from my concoction?
it
on
is, yeah.
Wow.
It's a flaming golden sword,
Cool.
and it like he lops off like a few arm things from this creature and just like a chunk of the side of it, and it like screams in pain and it like convulses through the whole body.
Get
And,
wrecked.
yeah, so it is hurt, and all 3 of you I'm actually going to make to do a move roll because it's flailing in pain as it
Uh-oh.
does this.
6.
Nice.
It's not good though.
I'm gonna say this is for me.
Okay.
I gotta take the lower. 3.
Not bad.
Could
Okay,
be worse.
yeah. That is still a failure though. So one of those arms is going to slash you. You're going to take a body mark.
Okay.
Do we need a roll for Wade?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll. You
She's
do
got
that.
it.
His
it's 2.
6.
I'm at 3 body marks.
Okay, so y'all both dodged it. McCoy's got a nasty gash, but this creature, yeah, like recoiled from this blade and is just like screaming, kind of writhing, and kind of like in a frenzy.
I would say as I see what a gold blade does to it, I
And also just for the full picture, like so it's like whole body is like opening like mouth thing, and so it's like screaming. So it's got this like open mouth, and you like when its mouth is open, it's weird because like it's obviously like a creature with definable mass and size, but like when it opens its mouth, it looks like you're staring into like a void. Like it's just like darkness, but its like,
Yeah.
mouth is open, it's freaking out, and it's like writhing and all that stuff.
Can I say that I have a, I've not picked anything else for my gear. Can I say I have a tincture of the gold?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I stole it from like
Sorry?
Thaddeus or something because I didn't want him to take it,
That's
but I just have it to be in character, and I'm gonna
yeah.
well, I'm gonna try and like give it to,
I've got a gold sword. I don't need it.
but I'm so bad I can't. I want
Okay, yeah.
okay.
And I'm closer to it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and like either like hand it off to like stumbling from the blood gash. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like try and hand it to Ox,
Okay.
and then I would like to back up if I can.
nice.
That's what I do. Do you
I
want me to roll
take
for it?
the
Okay.
I take the forearm with the blade and like hold it up in the air to try and get the attention,
Mhm.
and then maybe like tap the tincture to crack it a little bit and throw it into the mouth.
Okay.
Wow.
That is like it's ranged. You're gonna have to do control for that to see if you can get it in there.
control.
Would this count as a ranged attack
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a shooter for
with a
this.
weapon?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you wanna?
Yeah, because I don't have anything.
Okay. So how about I give it to Wade instead?
Yeah.
Give it to Wade. Give it
And
to Wade.
his-
Not to me.
When you want to make a ranged attack, I mean you can still do the.
Get his attention. Yeah.
When you want to make a ranged attack with a weapon, you may spend 1 nerve, and he has 1 left, to steady your aim before shooting and add 2d to your next shot at the target.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah?
Do it.
Okay. So his is strike, right? Or would it be control?
That'd be control.
Oh, control. He only has 1 in that.
But yeah, 2.
So 1 and then add 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And yeah. And he's spending 1 nerve.
Which would add another bag.
Does it, or is that part of the?
Yeah, that would add
You may
another.
spend 1 nerve.
And then add 2.
Yeah, so it's just a 3. The 1 he has and then the 2 that's added.
Okay.
I'll add another one if you want me to.
Rachel.
Is it bad?
That's 6.
Yes! High five.
So he's throwing it into
Don't do that!
into this creature, basically.
Into the void.
He's trying to into the maw as it's like roaring, trying to throw it down its throat.
Is that what you were thinking?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. So it like, it's almost like it goes into like a vacuum, like whoop, like in, and the creature like freezes up, and like starts to just tremble and shake as this like tincture like seems like it just like spins forever down this like hole, and then like after a while there's almost this like looks like Team Rocket's blasting off of it, like ding! And then like the creature gets like sucked into that, like it like goes into itself.
Let's go.
Gets pulled into this void and just like keeps like, and it's like screaming, and the screaming just gets like really garbled and weird, and then just, and then there's just nothing. It's just like, and you now are in this like the halls are reverberating from the screams of this imploded beast.
Wow.
And you did it. You solved my centipede puzzle.
Let's go.
How did we survive that?
That is epic, yeah.
From like the epic moment of like the sword all the way to like it imploding on itself. Wow.
Yeah.
I run towards my mom.
You run towards your mom. She like looks at you with glazed eyes.
Yeah, she doesn't really.
Yeah. And you kind of embrace her, and y'all are, I guess, celebrating in different ways and kind of like running off the high of that.
Trying to corral the patients too. To, like,
Corral the patients. It's a flurry of emotions and catharsis as that happens, and we're kind of panning out of your room now. We're going back up. We're going back up through the sanatorium.
we would have fully looted it, by the way.
No, yeah. You're looting all of it. Off screen. You
Looting
just
joyously.
culling through it for all of its beautiful resources.
That is just a pile of
Oh yeah, I stabilized that. I did check out that piece.
And as you do that, we go back up into the top floor of the sanatorium, and down the hall, back to the doors of Dr. King's office. And we go through the doors.
Mavis, right?
Mavis Kane, yeah. And to her empty study. And
Oh no.
it is an empty study, as I just said. The chair is empty, but kind of right in between the chair and the desk, we just see a closing glowing red line that kind of like seals up, and then we pan out of that scene and end our session. What does it mean?
It means
It's some sort of she went into the
smoke
end.
killed her.
Okay.
The same thing they did
Yeah.
to the.
Well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he didn't, but that's what I took from it.
Yeah.
Who's to say, really?
Whoa!
The end for now.